Dog the bounty hunter all of a sudden couldn't find President Putin. All of a sudden, even Google can't find Russia. I thought Iran and Russia were peeps. I thought they were best friends. I mean, for decades, Iran and Russia have had a partnership where they have attacked everyone in the freedom-loving West. I remember when Putin invaded Ukraine, one of the first allies he turned to was Iran. And Iran sent Russia ammunition. And Iran sent Russia artillery shells. And Iran sent Russia drones. And Iran has sent Russia drones and ammunition and artillery shells every single day of the war. So where's Russia?
Welcome back, brothers and sisters in freedom. You're watching Founding Voice America, the last stronghold of truth, liberty, and the American spirit in this world full of globalist lies and authoritarian double-talk. And today, oh boy, we've got to talk about one of the biggest jokes playing out on the world stage, the so-called alliances between tyrants. Let me ask you what the mainstream media won't. Where's Russia? Where's Vladimir Putin now? Because Iran, the very regime that loves to chant death to America while funding terrorist groups like Hamas, is out there begging for help. And suddenly, their big brother Putin is nowhere to be found. You know what? I love to see it. Not because I have any sympathy for Iran, they're one of our most dangerous adversaries, but because what we're witnessing is the collapse of a global alliance of tyrants. A fake friendship built on mutual hatred of the West and nothing else. And now, when Iran needs Putin the most, the Russian bear is hiding under a rock like a scared little cub. And you know why? Because tyrants don't have allies. They have useful idiots. They'll shake your hand with one arm while stabbing you in the back with the other. Where's Russia? Where's Putin? Exactly. Where are they? You see, this isn't some isolated incident. This is a pattern. When Putin invaded Ukraine and the West began pushing back, who ran to his side? Iran. They shipped him drones, artillery shells, and ammunition every single day. Like the loyal little lapdog they've always been. And now that Iran's in trouble, they're calling up their big buddy Vlad, hoping he'll return the favor. What does Putin do? Absolutely nothing. Zero. Zilch. Not a damn thing. And I say this with all the sarcasm I can muster. What a friend. Let me walk you through it, because the world needs to hear this loud and clear. In October 2023, Hamas, funded, trained, and emboldened by Iran, launched a savage attack on Israel. Iran knew what would follow. They knew Israel would respond with overwhelming force. So, they called up Russia for backup, jets, helicopters, air defense systems. And Putin. He sent them a couple of dusty old jets and told them to shut up and go away. That's what you get when you trust tyrants. Fast forward a few months. Israel dismantles Iran's air defenses like they were made out of papier-mâché. Their so-called Golden Dome was more like a tin hat. And once again, Iran runs crying to Moscow. And once again, Putin says, "Don't bother me."
Mr. President, where is Russia? Where is President Putin? I asked that question in light of what's been happening over the past week in Iran. Where's Russia? Where's President Putin? You couldn't find either one of them with a search party. Dog the bounty hunter all of a sudden couldn't find President Putin. All of a sudden, even Google can't find Russia. I thought Iran and Russia were peeps. I thought they were best friends. I mean, for decades, Iran and Russia have had a partnership where they have attacked everyone in the freedom-loving West. They're best buds. Now, I know Iran has a relationship with China, but that's more transactional. China just likes to buy Iran's cheap oil. With Russia and Iran, it was supposed to be a deeper, more meaningful relationship. And this isn't something new. It's been a partnership for decades. I remember when Putin invaded Ukraine, one of the first allies he turned to was Iran. And Iran sent Russia ammunition. And Iran sent Russia artillery shells. And Iran sent Russia drones. And Iran has sent Russia drones and ammunition and artillery shells every single day of the war. So where's Russia? I mean, it hadn't been a good week for Iran. Where's Russia? On Monday of this week, Iran's top diplomat met with President Putin and asked for help. You know what President Putin said he would provide? Nothing. Zero. Zilch. Nada. Some kind of friend. And you know, it's not the first time that we've seen President Putin's true colors. It's happened before. You would think that Iran would learn. The month after Iran, through Hamas, attacked Israel, back in October of 2023, Iran immediately asked Moscow to supply Iran with, because Iran knew what was coming, and so did Hamas. They knew retribution was coming from Israel. Iran asked Moscow for jet fighters, for attack helicopters, air defense systems, and training jets. And Iran was sure that their buddy Putin would be there. Putin sent them a few jets and said, "Go away, don't bother me." And then, not long ago, when Israel took out the better part of Iran's air defense system, its Golden Dome wasn't exactly golden. It was more like tin. But the Israelis took it out. Iran asked Russia, said, "Look, we have to rearm. We're naked and alone here. We need more air defense missiles to shoot down the Israeli planes." President Putin said, "Go away. Don't bother me." What a friend. President Putin has done it to other countries. Russia has had alliances not just with Iran through the years. I'll give you a couple of examples. Armenia. Armenia and Russia were best buds. Two peas in a pod. But when Armenia got in a war with Azerbaijan, let me say that again. Azerbaijan, once again, you couldn't find Russia with a search party. Iran and Russia worked together to prop up al-Assad in Syria. Remember that? when the people of Syria were revolting against Assad, who had blood under his fingernails, you know who kept him afloat? Iran, yes, but especially Russia. And then Assad got in trouble. And that's when he really needed Russia. And he went to Mr. Putin and said, help me, help me. And Mr. Putin said, no, you're on your own. You can come to my country where they can't get to you, but that's it. Too bad. I don't need you anymore. I hope a lot's going on with respect to the Middle East right now, but I hope that the world notices what kind of friend Russia is. I hope other countries that Russia has alliances with and that Russia is assiduously courting to be a, quote, partnership, notices how Russia reacts to their friends. Where's Russia? Where's Putin? All of a sudden, you can't find him. Now, I'm delighted with that. I'm just delighted. But this was very, very predictable. With friends like Russia, I say this to every country in the world that might be thinking about partnering with Russia. With friends like Russia, who needs enemies?
Folks, I'm telling you right now, this is a lesson for every nation on earth, especially the ones flirting with authoritarianism, thinking they'll find some kind of strength in a partnership with Russia. Let me spell it out for you. With friends like Russia, who needs enemies? And it's not just Iran. Look at Armenia. For years, Russia played nice with them, pretending they'd have their back. But when Armenia got into a war with Azerbaijan, crickets. Putin ghosted them like a bad Tinder date. Same thing happened in Syria. Bashar al-Assad, another brutal dictator who butchered his own people, leaned hard on Iran and Russia to prop up his regime. And when things got hot, when he really needed his friends, Putin told him he could come hide in Russia, but that was it. No help, no support, no loyalty. Because Russia doesn't do loyalty. They do leverage. They do control. And when they can't use you anymore, they discard you like trash. That's what globalist, authoritarian partnerships look like. There's no trust. There's no integrity. There's no moral compass. It's a mafia of tyrants. And when the chips are down, every man is for himself. So, what does this mean for America? It means that for all the media fear-mongering about how Russia, Iran, and China are forming an unbreakable anti-American alliance, we're really watching a house of cards built by snakes. Sure, they love to hate America together. But when the bullets start flying and their power gets threatened, they run and hide. Let me say this clearly, America doesn't need to fear tyrants who can't even trust each other. We are the only true beacon of freedom, honor, and strength in the world. We may have our internal issues. We've got an administration right now that's more interested in pronouns than protecting our borders. But make no mistake, the spirit of liberty still lives in this nation. It lives in you, and it lives in Founding Voice America. The world needs to wake up. Nations need to open their eyes. Russia isn't your friend. Neither is China. Neither is Iran. They will use you, bleed you dry, and leave you hanging the moment you're no longer useful to them. So to any country out there thinking about turning away from the West and into the arms of these despots, I've got one piece of advice. Don't mistake an enemy of America for a friend of freedom. Because there's only one real choice in this world if you want peace, prosperity, and sovereignty, and that's aligning with the free world. And whether Biden likes it or not, America still leads it. So where's Russia? Hiding. Where's Putin? Silent. And you know what? Good. Let these tyrants devour each other. Let their fake alliances crumble. And let it serve as a warning to any nation considering walking away from liberty to join the ranks of despots. When your back's against the wall, you better hope America's your ally. Because if Russia is, you're already finished. This has been Founding Voice America, where we say what the cowards won't and defend what the left wants to destroy. God bless you. God bless the Constitution. And God bless the United States of America.